Ako na ba? Hindi nga kung ano sa akin. Ito pala. May BDM. I don't have any makeup. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Ay, hello, 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 hello. Hello? Okay, good evening to all of you. I will present my research about applying real-life problem solving in grade 11 mathematics. Ma'am, can I start now? Good evening to all of you. I will present my research about applying real-life problem solving in grade 11 mathematics. Ma'am, can I start now? Good evening to all of you. I will present my research about applying real-life problem solving in grade 11 mathematics. Okay, so applying real-life problem solving in grade 11 mathematics. Mathematical problem solving is one of the most important topics to learn and also one of the most complex to teach. The main goal in teaching mathematical problem solving is that students develop a generic ability to solve real-life problems and apply mathematics in real-life situation. Problem solving can also be used as a teaching method for a deeper understanding of concepts. Successfully, mathematical problem solving depends upon many factors and skills with different characteristics. In fact, one of the main difficulties in learning problem solving is the uh, un- understanding of concepts. Successfully, mathematical problem solving depends upon many factors and skills with different characteristics. In fact, one of the main difficulties in learning problem solving is the fact that many skills are needed for a learner to be an effective problem solver. Once students are able to be actively involved in solving problems that have tangible outcome, they become more invested in solving other problems. This takes them deeper into the learning that they need to find those solutions. As a teacher, we need to teach the student to become a critical thinker, as they need to be more reflective, as well as to become more creative. It doesn't matter what problem you give them after that because you'll be able to figure it out. They will have the skills they need to think something to logically. It is the goal of every teacher to be able to give the kids the knowledge they need to function in real world. More importantly, it is our ultimate goal to have our students to go out into real world and solve problems they may not have been solved before. My study was this research study was conducted to provide new insight on how students think about the application of mathematics and how real life problem based on student lives would impact their learning in comparison to previous studies in which the student have had no input on the problem given. The study also take a look on how students correlating the daily lesson with their lives might improve the learning and comprehension of the mathematics. Specifically, it sought to answer the following question. How does the student perceive the real life problem situation? How does student use their critical thinking skills to solve the problem? And how does the student apply problem solving to real life situation? So my methods. So I use the ILS method, which means I learn and share, which is based in the learner-centered teaching strategy, which I focus my research in order for the researcher to apply real-life problem into uh, real life problem situation. It is also a cooperative learning techniques which involves small group working together to accomplish learning. The researcher collect data from grade 11 student of STI College Dasmariñas Senior High School student. I took data gathering during their remediation period last April 17 for their subject of general mathematics as part of their I Learn and Share activities, which aim to apply their knowledge in mathematics in real life situation. On the first day of their remediation period, um, students were divided into group by random selection, and they were given a task, and their goal is to conduct research about lending companies and investment opportunities and the term they offer and present their findings. The problem were presented through GRASS methods. Then the group had a short discussion before the start of activity. They have read the problem and tried to understand it using their critical thinking skills. Questions were raised and answered. So this is the problem in GRASS method. So as a consultant or advisor, you are tasked by the Department of Labor and Employment as well as the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration to conduct a research about lending companies and investment opportunities offered to workers abroad and their families. And through this research, you will formulate a recommendation of the most feasible plan and rate offered to OFW. You will present your research and recommendation to the DOLE Secretary, OWWA Chairman of the Board, OWWA Administrator, and President of the OFW's organization. Your research should be comprehensive, well organized, clear, and feasible. Finally, you must be able to come up with a recommendation of the most beneficial terms for the OFW lending and saving concern. So, during their first meeting, they collaborated and shared their thoughts about lending company, where they will go, where they will find those lending companies, and they are trying to formulate question for them to ask to some employee of those company and ask the rates so they were able to compute it. So 1 week after they research about that, they present it informal. So the findings and conclusion about my first research question on how the student perceived the real life problem situation when I began explaining the concept of ILS or the I learn and share. I found out that most of the students become more interested and they're more adept figuring out which strategy are they going to use. They were very accepting of this, and as there's a lot of question raised about the activity. The students also enjoy in the class much more because they can work together and they can share their thoughts. They work hand in hand, and I am able to establish a more relaxed and comfortable classroom environment. A comfortable classroom environment reduces the fear of math that is commonly found to mathematics. In the second research question, how does the student use their critical thinking skills to solve the problem? The student might be able to improve their mathematical literacy and their understanding of the use of mathematics in the real world through reflection, which has shown to be beneficial. Student reflection help the teachers see what the students are struggling and with and what they understand. Teachers can help students reflect through writing, which promotes and extends student thinking. Reflection extends student thinking by posing questions and experimenting with ideas. The ideas can be refined if the teacher has insight into the student understanding. Student reflection give the student insight into student conceptual ability. In my third question, how does the student apply problem solving in real situation? Students need to be able to interpret, represent, and communicate their reasoning in different ways to solve problems. By interpreting, representing, and communicating in multiple and unique ways, students will improve their mathematical understanding. Each student can prepare to use mathematics in different ways to interpret real problem. During their presentation of findings, they were able to show different computation as they apply the lesson they learn about interest as they relate it into different knowledge they gain during the interview. These are some script. So, teacher, what formula what they are using when they are computing for interest rate. The student answer I is equals to PRT, where P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is for time. And then the teacher asks, how much interest they will charge you? Student, all the loans have monthly interest rate and range from 2% to 5%. The actual rate will be based on the approved loan amount and the preferred payment terms, which is either monthly or semi-monthly from 3 to 12 months. Okay, example, I want to loan for 20,000, which is payable for 12 months at 3% interest per month. What will be the monthly amortization of my loan? Then the student answered using the formula IPRT is equal to PRT. We can solve for the interest of your loan, which is I is equals to 20,000 multiplied by 0.035 multiplied by 12, which is equals to 8,400. Then the interest for 12 months is 8,400. But how about teacher? How about the monthly amortization? Student answer, we are going to add interest in the principal amount of loan and then divide it by 12. So the monthly amortization will be 2,366.66. Therefore, we are going to pay 2,366.66 per monthly. Teacher, very good. Now, all of you try to solve again for interest and monthly amortization if you are going to loan for 25,000 for 2 years. As we can see, the children greatly relate mathematics to a real life situation. In conclusion, students must be able to apply mathematics in real life situations after they graduate from high school. Having students solve real helps students in few ways. First, students develop a better understanding of how math applies to the real world. They are able to see math as useful, not just a school subject. Second, students might be more engaged if the problem relate to their lives, just like in solving for the interest. And lastly, real world problem that the student can relate to make student more interested in learning because they see how they can use mathematics in their immediate and future lives. Because the world is becoming more database, it is important the student understand how to apply math to real life problem. Hello? Any question po? Okay, thank you. Thank you po. Thank you. Next.